Welcome to the Michele Roys Show.
Hello and welcome everyone to another Michele Roys podcast. We're so delighted today to have someone all the way from the States. Kim Carter, you're really welcome to the show. So Kim is a network connection relationship coach who's passionate about helping people stop just networking and start building real relationships. So she's a coach and speaker, and also she helps entrepreneurs, professionals to connect with authenticity, grow trust, and create communities that actually feel good to be part of. And I'm so delighted to have you. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Oh, thank you so much, Michele.
How have you been?
I've been really good.
That's great.
Very good.
How about you telling us a little bit about where you are right now and a little bit about yourself?
Well, first of all, I live in Maryland, and my husband and I are coming up on our 41st wedding anniversary in about 20 days.
Yeah.
Well, we have 2 kids, and we're expecting our 6th grandchild in March.
Oh, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, 41 years. That's a lifetime in itself. And well done, a whole generation there. That's so cool.
Thanks. Well, it wasn't easy, but we're doing it. We're doing it.
That's it. That's the most important part. And I'm so happy to be able to have you here so we can actually talk about relationship. And you have not only personal experience, but also professional experience on this as well. So I have a first question for you to start.
Okay.
So many of our listeners live with chronic pain and various challenges as well, right? So sometimes it put a lot of strain on their relationship with others. From your experience, what are some of the key foundations for them to have to help to create a healthy relationship with others?
Well, I would say the first thing that I would talk about is being honest in your communication with family members, friends, spouses. Let them know how you're really feeling. And this allows for them to understand where you're coming from and allows them to respect what you're going through. And 2, it creates a mutual respect. When you show up as your authentic self and let them know how you're feeling, what your energy level is, it creates just such an awareness for both you and for the other person. And another thing I would talk about is consistency in showing up. It lets the other person know that it doesn't have to be any grand gesture to help you out. Just consistency in showing up and checking in with you goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. Going back to the point of authenticity, for those who are watching me online, I have my hair up on little, how are they called? Bobby pins. So back to the era. I have a speaking engagement tomorrow. So I'm here authentic as myself, showing up. But I think it's more important the conversation that we're having. But I think it's beautiful style, don't you think?
I do. I really like it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think it's so important, like you said, there about being authentic and also having that consistency because it is hard as well, right? To be consistent continuously and being able to check in on people and explain how am I actually feeling? What am I actually going through? Is a challenge, right? I think everybody can find that as well.
And I realize and know that it's not an easy thing to talk about pain, and sometimes it seems invisible. Like you yourself, you look beautiful, but we don't know what you might be dealing with inside.
Exactly.
So it's such a powerful question that you asked because we never really know what someone's going through.
And that's a point on building a relationship, right? It's being able to give that layer of openness and vulnerability, right? You were even saying that before, how important it is to build trust, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Good. My second question to you is about how can we open up? Because opening up is not easy. And so it leads us perfectly to this question, right? Opening up is not easy. So what are some practical ways that people can communicate their needs with their loved ones without feeling like a burden to them and still feel true to themselves?
Well, we can talk about it in a way that doesn't look like complaining, but we're going to frame it as sharing. We're sharing how we're really feeling. And so you might be able to share with someone and communicate your needs instead of complaining or framing it as complaining. I'm struggling with this. You might say, I need help in this area. This is how, you can support me, and this is what I need help in. So that's one way. And you can also show up without feeling apologetic. You're feeling what you're feeling. And when we let other people know exactly how we need them to support us in a specific way, it takes a lot of the guesswork for the other person out of the way. And it cuts down on the misunderstandings and the overstepping, and they can respect your no when you say no and don't accept their help. And then they can respect your yes when you say yes. So overall, it just uncomplicates everything when we show up honest and truly authentic to what we really want and need.
Yeah. I think that's such a good point that you mentioned about miscommunications, because there's always assumptions on the other side. Don't you really know that I'm going through this X, Y, or Z? But no, a lot of times people don't know we're going through X, Y, and Z because we might appear fine, right?
That's right.
So
And it's really not easy to open up and share and be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But we have to be conscious of other people's capabilities.
Yeah.
As far as how much they can give and what they're willing to give and how much they are going to be able to, understand what we're going through. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it is really. In your line of work, Kim, what are some of the practical strategies that you try to have your clients work on when they're trying to build that relationship and going deeper with people?
Well, what I try to work on is always be authentic and as honest as you possibly can, because that's when true trust and safety is, formed. So it's about a two-way communication. And I think that communication is absolutely the key.
Very true. And hard at the same time.
It's very hard to be vulnerable and put ourselves out there.
Yeah.
But really, when we do that, that gives other people permission to do the same. And that's when the true magic really happens, when that true relationship is really formed and you make that connection.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that with this podcast, I'm trying to encourage people, especially those that are going through chronic pain or visible illness or any loss, going through any difficulties and challenges. We usually retract ourselves. We usually isolate ourselves. And that's completely the opposite of what we actually need, right? So we feel that, okay, it's been so long since I've been out or I haven't been in a network event. I haven't gone anywhere really. So what would be something you could tell that person that's listening right now that they haven't gone out of their house, but they want to be able to make new friends or even cultivate the friendships that they have right now? What would be one thing that you would suggest them to do?
Well, they don't even have to go out of their house. They can find an online forum with something that they share in common with others. What I would tell them, what I would suggest is to start where you're comfortable.
Okay.
Start with the people around you and just start where you're comfortable and then go from there. There's online communities. There's events you can attend in your local town or community. There's all kinds of different ways to reach out and get connection. But my main focus would be starting where you're already feeling comfortable with your friends, with your family, starting to reach out to those networks that surround you and then grow from there. There's all kinds of opportunities everywhere you go.
Mm.
And it doesn't have to be something overwhelming, like showing up to a big networking event. Just start where you already are and grow from there.
Right. Yeah. Start small, right? Start where you are. I think that's great. Brilliant
Yeah,
point.
yeah, just start small. It doesn't have to be some gigantic step. Just start and get comfortable with where you're at and then grow from there.
That's great. Oh, perfect timing there. Another question with regards to helping someone step out of their comfort zone. What are small little things that they can even do? Let's say I go to a network meeting and I know you're a specialist in this. What are the first things that I can do to help myself feel comfortable in that room? It's a different environment. I don't know really a lot of people. What would I do beforehand or during the day that I'm there that will help me feel a little bit more at peace?
Well, the first thing that I like to say is for people to understand and to know that they are worthy to show up in any room that they walk into. They're enough just walking through the door,
Mm.
just showing up. And then once they get in the door, there's a lot of ways that they can feel more comfortable. When you make eye contact with someone, you can just smile, and that lets them know that you're approachable, and they may be more willing to start a conversation with you. Shaking hands, just to be open to engagement.
Mm.
And I would say smiling a lot is overlooked a lot. But when you smile, you're giving off a warmth, and people will match the energy that you bring into the room.
Yeah, it's true.
And another thing that I would say is be the most interested person in the room. Come in with curiosity about other people. And a lot of people think that they have to be the most interesting person in the room, but it's actually the opposite. Be the most interested and curious in the room. And it's kind of like turning the camera lens, instead of turning it inward, turn it outward.
Yeah, yeah.
So those are a few of the tips.
I know those are brilliant. I think, well, they're all good, but walking into that room knowing that you already belong, you're worthy of it, I think is such a powerful message because a lot of people forget. We tend to forget, like, oh no, you know, we feel doubts about ourselves, not confident in ourselves, so many imposter syndromes, right? That take over our mind. But no, walk in there knowing that you belong already wherever you are, right? Just because of who you are and whose you are. I personally feel that God has already gifted us with everything we need to do whatever it is that we're doing on earth because He's already given us capabilities for it, right?
I love that. And that's what I speak about. You already have everything inside of you that you need. You are worthy from the day you were born,
Mm.
and you are worthy to be seen just as you are. And we all have an etiquette when we go to these networking things, and we all have a certain etiquette standard that we have to usually conform to. But that doesn't take away from being your true, authentic self. You can breathe the warmth, the kindness, the compassion that you already have to these events. And I just think it's so important for us to remember that making connections is truly a skill that we have to learn, and we have to get our reps in. We have to practice. It
Mm.
doesn't necessarily come natural because we want to hide our true self. We want to, perform the way people think we should act. There's a lot of perfection. We have to show up perfectly. And we all know that perfection is a total myth. It's a total myth that nobody can ever live up to.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we just have to feel that we are enough. We're there for a reason. And I think that helps a lot. The self-acceptance transforms into other people accepting us the way we are. And what I have learned from experience, when you love and accept yourself and really like yourself, that is something that other people pick up on, and it makes it so much easier for them to love and like you.
That's true. That's very true. If you don't mind bringing us back, how did you keep your marriage for over 40 years? That's amazing. And I'm so happy to hear it. But what are some of the tips or suggestions you give to our listeners as well to maintain a relationship, especially a marriage? You know, there's so many ups and downs, and then you have kids, and then you have grandkids in between. But what are some of your main three tips that you have?
Well, this is kind of a funny one. I think it's funny. When you get in an argument with your husband, think back to when you first fell in love, the qualities, the character that you loved so much about them. And they're still there. You know, they're just dimmed because over time things dim. But remember why you first fell in love with that person,
Mm.
because they're still probably the same person that you fell in love with. And another thing I would say, it makes it easier to stay married if you have similar values
Mm.
and beliefs. That helps a lot, because regardless of the struggles that you're going through, you still have your core principal values. And it makes it so much easier because you're working together for the same things. And then the third one would be love is 100% unconditional. And people change over time, and you're in different seasons at different times. And sometimes you're in the same season together. But it's not easy, but it is most definitely worth it to have somebody that has your back 100%, that's with you in it for the long haul, that loves you unconditionally, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of you. So that just makes it so much more rewarding.
Absolutely. No, I love those. Like I said before, I'm going on 21 years married, so about halfway yours way. But
Congratulations. That's still a monumental accomplishment right there.
I'm very grateful. But especially in you saying about having that unconditional love and the person that has your back, my husband has been an angel sent from God because I went through hell and back with my health, and he was there solid, a rock with my ups and downs and everything else in between. And I say that really helped me to stabilize and now to manage my pain the way I'm able to. It's, of course, God first, but definitely having that support, knowing that He is there for me and with me. My kids as well, but they don't take as much as the brunt as the husband does.
Exactly. And um, I'm a Christian, and God is absolutely first as well. And having that faith just just
Yeah.
it's just so incredible. And I actually told my best friend when I was in my 20s that I was going to marry my husband, Mike.
Mm.
And I prayed to God for him to stay in my life.
Aw.
And that's another thing how I know that we were meant to be together forever, because God, put him in my life permanently. So I just love that.
Yeah. He orchestrated all.
Yes, yes. And I know it was from God, so anything from God, has to be a perfect plan.
Exactly. But like you're saying there, it's the important part about communication and keeping that the marriage or keeping that relationship alive. It takes work. It's not a walk in the park. However, it's so worth it. So worth it to have that dependability, that trust, that camaraderie that you're not alone. So I highly encourage people to really build their relationship. And that's why I'm so happy to speak to someone that's a coach on relationships. being able to give this value to those that are listening right now so that they can build relationship. And it might not just be a marriage, but it's also for families, right? Friends, families, or any of those.
Exactly. And
There's
I've always been a family person, always.
Mm,
And so keeping that close connection with my children, my beautiful grandchildren, is just such a precious gift.
yeah.
And like I said, learning to get along in relationships is something that we all have to practice on.
Mm,
We all need to learn as we go. And nobody's ever perfect at it.
mm,
But the most important part is that we're all trying.
exactly. Keep going.
Yes.
I have another question to you with regards to creating boundaries in relationships. So we touched a little bit about being open and explaining what we need, how we need help. Sometimes it's hard to set boundaries for other people, especially if you're a people pleaser and you want everybody to be happy with you and you do everything they ask you to do. But how can somebody set healthy boundaries in a relationship so that they can protect themselves as well, their energy, and also be able to give of a full cup rather than an empty cup to others?
Well, boundaries, when we set boundaries, they're really for us. They're not for other people. They're for us. It's to protect our energy, like you said. It's to protect ourselves.
Mm,
So boundaries, the boundaries that we set are for us. And it's not a wall, it's a bridge. Because when we set a boundary, people know what to expect and they can respect that. And if they know what to expect, then it's easier for them to help you out.
mm,
It's easier if you say, instead of, no, I can't attend that function, if you say, well, I'm not sure what my energy level is going to be,
mm,
but I can let you know closer to the date, then they know what to expect. They
mm,
know that you're not guaranteeing that you're going to be able to show up in your energy level, but you will keep them informed. So boundaries are a very good thing. It creates mutual respect and it cuts down on the misunderstandings. It protects your energy,
mm,
and it takes a lot of the guesswork out. So
mm.
boundaries are a very good thing for mutual respect.
I loved it how you said it's not a wall, it's a bridge. And the picture that came to my mind, exactly that little bridge that we can have that two-way relationship, not just like, here, I'm far away from you. Sometimes people can feel
Exactly.
that way. Well, thanks for putting it that way. I love it. Very good. And another question that I have for you with regards to growth and relationships as well. What is one shift in perspective that can help people move from feeling stuck or unsupported to experiencing more joy and fulfillment in their connections?
This is a good one, Michelle. This is a good one for you. All right. A lot of times we go into relationships, and I would say, especially with a spouse or someone very close to us, and we think about the lack. What are we not getting from this relationship? And instead of framing it as a lack, something's missing, this person isn't giving me this, take a look at how you're showing up, how yourself are showing up in the relationship,
Mm,
because how you're showing up can shift the entire relationship. If you reframe how you're thinking about being unfulfilled, you can move that into fulfillment. If just by showing up can make that total shift, just by showing up how you want to show up in the relationship.
yeah, I think the reframing part is so important. I love it. It is true. If you're only seeking to have for yourself, you're never looking at, well, what am I giving or how am I doing this for other people, right? Or what part of the relationship am I in right now? There's so many
Yes,
facets to it.
exactly. Instead of maybe, flying off the handle right in the beginning, if you just stop, take a breath, and calm things down, it can totally shift. That's just one example, but it can totally shift the relationship.
Oh, for sure. That's great. Now, I know we're getting towards our end of the call, but I wanted to ask, how can people get in touch with you? And if they want to work with you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
They can go to my website. It's kimcartercoaching.com, and they can fill out their information at the bottom, and they can book a discovery call with me, and we can see whether we're a match to work together. That's one way. And I'm not really big on social media yet, but I'm trying to get there. But they can reach out on Instagram and also on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And you have your podcast coming up as well, right?
Yes, we have recorded 5 podcasts.
Perfect.
We have not published it yet, so be on the lookout for that. I can keep you in the loop on that.
Awesome.
And also, I am working on an in-person event at the Performing Arts Center next July or August. So I'm working on that.
Wow. Yeah, you're amazing with your networking and all the different things that you do. But Kim, I really, really am grateful for having you here, for sharing a little bit of your expertise with the listeners. Thank you so much. And before I close, what is one thing that you would like us to take away from this call?
The one thing that I would like your audience to take away is connecting with others and making real relationships gets to be so much easier when we show up as our true self and show our humanness, because that's what really resonates with other people.
That's beautiful. That's so true. Amazing. Let that sink in. Yes, let's show up as ourselves and our humanness, just as we are.
Yes. And when you do, you give other people permission to do the same. So they feel comfortable showing up as their self. So it's reciprocal. And that's when that true bond and commonality, and connection happens.
Wow. Amazing. This is such a powerful conversation, Kim. I thank you so much for taking the time for being here with us on this show. And I'm going to have all of that on the show notes as well, so people can get in touch. Please do get in touch with Kim, and I will have it all there so you guys can know where to go and look out for her podcast is coming out as well. My friends, thank you, and may God bless and keep you. Until next week, bye for now.
This was the Michele Roys Show.